Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again. And Great Divide time. Quite possibly the worst episode of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And it's such a good show. But I remember, I loved this when I was a kid. But as I got older, I was like,
why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
But anyway, this episode, it never really bothered me that much. I didn't even know it was the worst episode, but again, after everybody pointed it out, I was like, oh, that's right. But there is a upside to all this. After this is the storm, one of the best episodes of Avatar, The Last Airbender. So, with a lot of, you can't get something for nothing, I guess. I guess you got to get to some of the best. You got to go through some of the worst to get to some of the best. So, I don't even know. This episode sucks, but again, there's no bad episode of Avatar. So, what are you gonna do? So, please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And let's do this thing, y'all.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm going to put a little disclaimer here before we get into it.
You opened the same way I did.
This episode might be 30 seconds long. I don't know what I'm going to say about this. Okay, here we go. I'll mention this one now, I guess. Did you know that each episode's title card has its own unique little jingle? This episode's goes like this.
Oh yeah, of course. I knew that.
And this one goes like this.
Yeah.
And this one like this.
Of course, you have to do the Puppet Master.
Also, haha, yes, I get it. The Great Divide is in the canyon, but it also means the Great Divide between the two clans. Very clever.
Not really.
Aren't you forgetting the tarp?
Right, got it.
Besides, you can't even really say that because they're not really divided. They fight, but like brother and sister, brothers and sisters always fight. Ask me and my sister. We can't get rid of each other, yet we argue all the time. We still love each other, so, hey.
Sokka, you're supposed to put the tarp on top of the tent. So we don't get rained on.
Katara, why don't you worry about gathering the firewood? Because that kindling's looking pretty sorry.
Well, if you don't like my firewood...
Fine by me!
Immediately, these two don't feel like Katara and Sokka. We've seen them argue, but not to the point of shouting, other than that one time Sokka was being a dick. This argument seems really out of nowhere.
It also seemed that it took a lot to take from Sokka. Do you realize they almost never argue? Yeah, they insult each other and joke around like a brother and sister would, but they really don't argue that much. Like, other than this, and the more notable one is the big one where she just goes, that... I mean, they don't argue that much, which is pretty nice.
Last episode, Sokka tried to tell Katara Jet was a maniac, and Katara just flat out didn't believe him. There was no yelling match. But now they're shouting over not putting a tarp up?
Why don't you just switch jobs?
Ridiculous.
Sounds good.
Whatever.
You see that? Settling feuds and making peace. All in a day's work for the Avatar.
Well, here's Aang's whole thing for the episode. He's the mediator, which, honestly, we don't get to see very often. And from his job description, it seems like we probably should. Score 1 for the Great Divide, I guess?
There it is, guys. The Great Divide. Wow. I could just stare at it forever.
Okay, I've seen enough.
I'll Masaka on this one. It's a big hole in the ground. I don't care.
Hey, if you're looking for the canyon guy...
Then a lot of people go to the Grand Canyon for what reason? What?
I was here first!
And then there's this fucking dweeb and his army of Melvins. You might recognize this guy's voice from a bunch of Book 1 episodes.
I'm looking for Bato of the Water Tribe.
It's too strong! I can't hold it!
I'll admit, the hog monkey pelt outfit is pretty cool.
And we've got sick people that need shelter.
We've got old people who are weary from traveling.
Sick people get priority over old people.
That's a good debate, I guess. I'd probably give it to the old people, though. I guess it depends on how sick the sick people are. If you listen, you can hear this argument carry on in the background.
Wouldn't live to be so old.
It's so weird.
Well, Aang, ready to put your peacemaking skills to the test?
I don't know. A fight over chores is one thing.
Absolutely not. We'd rather be taken by the Fire Nation than travel with those stinking...
It's really funny that no matter who's arguing, adults, children, they all sound the same. All adults sound like children. Well, I don't think children sound like adults, but everybody sounds like children. There we go.
Thieves.
We wouldn't travel with you pompous fools anyway.
I am not pompous.
All right, here's the deal. You're all going down together, and I'll be here will fly your sick and elderly across.
Aang's too snappy in this episode too. He can get angry, but it usually takes more than an argument. Oh, it turns out all the sick were elderly anyway. I guess the debate doesn't matter.
Go a day without food? Would you rather be hungry or dead?
Now that's a debate worth having. This motion doesn't really seem to match what happens, right? I would think a bridge would shoot out from underneath them or something. Bending really seems to match the movements pretty closely about 100% of the time, but not here.
But that was just because Toph is the
Many
master.
of you are probably wondering how canyons are formed. Experts tell us this canyon was most likely carved into the ground by earth spirits who were angry at local farmers for not offering them a proper sacrifice.
I actually like this. Is this true? It might be. Or the fact could be that the canyons are formed like ones are in real life. It's cool to not know, I guess.
Jesus. By the way, did anybody ever watch The Land Before Time 3? This whole scene reminded me of this last fight at the end of Land Before Time 3, where these random ass huge raptors just come by and just try and rip everybody to shreds. I grew up with some good kids movies, even though the Land Before Time movies sequels kind of suck, but whatever. They're dinosaurs. I don't give a crap.
Another victory for Aang with the staff. At least this episode keeps the internal logic solid on that level.
Your arms, they're broken.
Are they? He got flung pretty hard and landed on one of them, but the other one looked pretty okay. I'm more surprised he doesn't have, like, broken ribs.
His arms
Without
like
my
backwards.
arms, I got no bending.
That's interesting. A lot of earthbenders seem to get by with almost no usage of their arms. It's believable that there'd be a style that would rely heavily on arm movements, though.
And now, not only that, like, he's probably never learned how to use his foot movements because he's pretty old.
Took food down here even after the guide told them not to.
If there's anyone who can't go without food for a day, it's you pampered Ganjins.
We're stuck in this canyon with no way out.
Why don't you thank yourself,
Whoa, you can't say that! Scorpion? Pretty normal Scorpion, I'm pretty sure!
You guys aren't gonna put up your
yellow
tarps?
and black.
What for?
I mean
It's the
brown.
dry season.
Do you really think it'll rain?
No, but you can never be too careful, right?
Okay, show, I get it. Sokka's a Zhang and Kataro's a Ganjin. I think even as a kid I put that together before you spelled it out for me. Moon continuity. Is this normal?
What?
Okay, I like that actually. Katara looks around and sits up a little straighter.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The patriarch of our tribe, Jin Wei, was an earthbender warrior who was assigned an important duty, transporting our sacred orb from the Great Eastern Gate to the Great Western Gate. Jin Wei was attacked by one of the Zhang, a vermin named Wei Jin. Wei Jin knocked Jin Wei to the ground and stole our sacred orb.
So, this whole dispute is just like really stupid, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll summarize the Zhang side. Wei Jin is a nice man. He find Jin Wei collapse on ground. Jin Wei try to help Wei Jin. Say no, take orb to my people. Wei Jin say okay. Wei Jin arrested for stealing orb. Wei Jin in prison for 20 years. That seems worse than what the Ganjins described. Is it bad that I keep siding with the literal barbarian people? What does that say about me?
I wish I could help.
That usually the poor and disenfranchised are taken advantage of by the people who feel themselves better. It doesn't say anything about you. It says that you're a normal person and not selfish.
These people get along, but it just seems impossible. Anyhow, I guess our biggest problem is getting out of here.
I'm not so sure the two problems are unrelated.
Good night, I guess.
Maybe the Zhang can climb the wall with their long, disgusting fingernails.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that to the Ganjin, unclipped fingernails is a crime
look at this
punishable
guy.
by 20
Got no
years
shirt
in
on.
jail.
God, shut up! Shut up! I get it! You're different! You hate each other! Man, this fight is still better than Zuko versus Zhao. And it's got this shit in it.
Fair enough.
When the hell did you get up there?
Everybody, watch me do what I do! Now follow me. We're riding out of this hole.
Okay, this is a good solution. Now just don't play the Avatar theme over it and sully the music. Ah! They probably just doomed these things to starve, right? Leaving the bags over their mouths? That's messed up. Whoa!
Not really. I'm sure they would, like, shake the bags. They could eventually shake the bags off. All you have to do is pull them over.
Who's this guy? He's the coolest looking dude ever. Why didn't we see him at all?
Let us...
What the fuck are you talking about? I just literally saw him in the last scene. You were analyzing these videos. How did you forget that? The fuck?
Travel to the Earth Kingdom capital as one tribe.
Man, thank God we never see any of these unlikable hell people when the gang gets to Bossing Say. Maybe they died on the way there. That wouldn't be so bad.
That's some luck
They
to
probably
do
killed
Jin
each
Wei and
other.
Wei Jin.
You could call it luck, or you could call it lying.
What?
I made the whole thing up.
And yeah, it ends on a really whack note with Aang just lying to make things all better. I don't know how else he'd resolve it, but Avatar usually takes its issues a lot more seriously, so this feels pretty lame. I know the consensus for this episode is that it's the worst in the series, so I know I'm not saying anything new when I say, man, this episode's not good. There was this sentiment floating around a little while ago that this episode was always on TV as a rerun when the show was still in book one, and that's why everyone hates it. But no, it's still really bad.
I remember I used to watch this episode like all the time, and eventually I was like, people would just, that's why when everybody would point out like how bad it was, I was like, oh my God, you're right.
Characters don't even feel like themselves for the majority of it. The word filler gets thrown around a lot for shows, and which episodes fit that name. This is, in my opinion, the only true filler episode in the series. Nothing from this episode ever comes back. Nothing.
What about, actually I was about to say the fortune teller episode, but the whole prophecy does technically happen.
Nothing at all. Even in the most fillery of episodes you can think of in this show, I can think of one element that plays a role in the overall story, even if it's just a throwaway line or a gag. But this, nothing. And I don't think anyone's angry about this, because I'm pretty sure everyone just wants to forget this episode exists. You know what's crazy, though? I think it's only my second least favorite episode. And I bet none of you are going to guess my actual least favorite until we get there. Anyway, it's The Storm next, and that one's about...
I think I know what his least favorite one is. The Painted Lady. I'm sure it's the Painted Lady. Because everybody is like, oh, this episode's so bad. It's ridiculous. Come on. It's a Captain Planet episode. It's an environmental episode. Whatever. Whew, that was a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Even though it was bad. Let's not get me wrong. It's bad. But, yeah. It's only a 7-minute video. So, hey. 7 minutes of torture is better than an hour of torture. So, or 20 minutes. So, but yeah, I'm really just more excited for the next episode. And I really got nothing to say about this one. But, you know, it's, again, I used to watch this episode like a lot. Because, again, like what he said about it being played a lot on TV, that was strangely true. They kept on playing that episode. I swear, I saw that the same episode played twice within a week. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll watch it. So, yeah, I remember it was also when they were showing reruns of season 1 before season 2 came out. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my history. I mean, thank God I barely ever watched. I don't think I watched it when I showed it to people that I know. I'm going to do the reaction to it, of course, but I won't have to do it till then. So please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And I'll see you on the next video.